biggest mistake of the Biden-Harris administration is governing in a way that would have worked in the 90s, maybe early 2000s, but does not work in today's media environment. You cannot do what Biden-Harris did, pass massive pieces of legislation designed to help the working class people, and then do nothing to really promote it. And you have the big bill signing at the White House, where only people on CNN, MSNBC will see it. Maybe Fox News will cover it for about a minute or two, then drop it for months and months and months. And then you go out again to a groundbreaking of a new bridge or a talent investment that nobody will see. Local news will cover it with low viewership. Nobody will know anything about it. When he passed these big pieces of legislation, all the Democrats should have been everywhere saying, this is what we did, this is what we did, this is what we did, this is what we did. I mean, constantly, this is what we did, this is what we did, going on all the podcasts and doing it multiple times to really ingrain in people's mind that, hey, the Biden-Harris administration has actually been doing the work. But instead, they took the view that good work will speak for itself. We don't live in a time where that is true. We live in a time of lies, of misinformation, obsessed with TikTok videos and memes. We don't live in a world that values looking for what the government is doing. I don't know how many people I've ran into who said, what has Biden done? And you could say, well, you need to look up, but that's not going to work. They don't know anything about the Inflation Reduction Act. They don't know anything about the CHIPS and Science Act. They don't know anything about the PACT Act. They don't know anything about the infrastructure bill. They know nothing. And since they know nothing about any of those things because of failure to effectively communicate on all forms, I mean, when you get in office, the Biden-Harris administration should have began campaigning lightly for 2024, making sure that everybody knows everything that they have done. That way, it will be like, yeah, Biden's really old, but he's got a lot of stuff done. Or Biden's really old, but his Vice President Kamala Harris, they've been together, they got a lot of stuff done, and that would have boosted his approval rating, I believe. But nobody knows anything that he done. So that also then allows people to say, uninformed people, but this is America, lots of people are uninformed, but they have big opinions on Facebook and Instagram. Why are we sending all this money to other countries? We're not helping the people at home. And yet they fail to realize all these bridges being built, all this road construction is directly in some form or shape from the Biden administration's infrastructure bill. The Biden administration has poured trillions of dollars into American business, American manufacturing, and nobody knows anything about it. And it allows this myth of what the Democrats do in office to persist. That's why we have to fight tooth and nail. This is a messaging war. And if you lose a messaging war, you will lose the election. Because America at this point in time, unfortunately, doesn't value truth. They don't value facts. They don't value data. They don't value values. They don't have any morals for the most part. Some of them do, but a lot of people, they just don't care. As either they don't care or they're ignorant and they don't know. But we have to play a game to win, and we have to win in order to punish MAGA. Because if they keep winning, they're going to keep doing the same thing. And that means there's a whole group of young people that grow up and voters and citizens that think, hey, you can lie, steal, cheat, and do all this stuff, and it's perfectly okay because you could be president, or you could be Secretary of Defense. You could, beat your rape, sexual assault, sleep with underage people, and you could still be Attorney General, or you could be Secretary of Defense, or you could be a Republican politician. And that's the example that we're setting. So we need to constantly fight on all fronts. Never be afraid to go anywhere. On these podcasts, on YouTube, anywhere, to get our message out. Because our message is the right message. Our message is the fact-based message. But we just have to share it with people. I mean, the Democratic Party, and I'm not an expert, but I think I'm an informed person, that we leave so many things uncontested. Like, if we don't think we can win, we give up. We don't run candidates. We need to run everywhere and have our message in every corner of the country. Our message is pretty much centered on the coast and in big cities in red states. That means we lose whole swaths of the country that don't even hear our message. And we have become so siloed into our information bubbles that it is important for Democrats to punch into these information bubbles and do whatever you can to support left-wing media. And when I say left-wing progressive media, I don't mean the Young Turks or people like that who are constantly criticizing Democrats. They're just as bad as the far right. I mean, Democrats have their problems, but the false equivalency is what has killed the Democratic Party. Where you can have a Republican do all this crazy laundry list of shit, and the Democrat does one thing that may be a little bit suspect, and they're both the same. And in fact, I'm going to vote for the Republican who's done 3 times as much, because the Democrat, they're just the same as the Republicans. We have to fight back against that narrative.